to the TRRC. You understand?
Yes, I did.
Good. Mr. Bajo, you are called upon to testify about the fate of the West African migrants who were arrested in the Gambia in July of 2005. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Good. And because you have testified before, we would not ask you to provide information as to your background. All right? But could you confirm to us that sometime in 2005, you were appointed foreign minister?
Yes.
Can you recall the date?
I can't recall the date offhand, but I know it was the month of October 2005.
Could you speak up a bit or speak closer to the microphone?
Yeah, it was, I can't remember the date offhand now, but I know it was sometime in October 2005.
Good, thank you. In October 2005, you would confirm that the investigations of the fate of the West African migrants was taking place in the Gambia.
Yes, I had learned of it, I heard of it.
And did you have any connections with that investigations?
Not at all, not at all.
But as foreign minister, would you agree that it was also your responsibility to liaise and coordinate with the Ghanaian government on this particular issue?
It depends on the circumstances, but because when I came in, foreign ministry, the matter was already had already happened, and then I heard that investigation was going on.
Could you take that again? I could barely hear you.
So, I mean, it may be, but what I can say is that when I was appointed, the incident had already happened, and then I was aware that investigations were ongoing.
Good. Mr. Bajo, we had done this in English. I had forgotten completely about the interpreters. But we've only done a few questions, so perhaps we should just take a few steps backwards and at least avail the public of the benefit of interpretation of what you're saying. Sorry about that, Mr. Bajo.
No, it's okay. No problem.
Mr. Bajo has just made a declaration that he would speak the truth, and he has been informed that it is a violation of the laws of this country to provide false information after having made an affirmation to speak the truth.
Mr. Bajo, lahido dile ko abe tonyale for andu ya sinande nda male ko fana nyimulu atinyal di Gambia banko kan tumanda tumala menna ye lahido di ko be tonyale for andu bina sedando dila ena kuma soto balo fo omulu atinyal de yola faye.
Mr. Bajo, just to for the benefit of the listeners at home, could you tell us your full names again?
Mr. Bajo, puru la moyorlal membe banta ila nafa kan fesi to ni konton fono nyene kotanke ba.
My name's Lamin Kaba Bajo.
Ntomu Lamin Kaba Bajo leti.
Date and place of birth?
Iwuluda mintole andu iwuluda sanjumalla.
10th of November 1964.
November karotil tang 1964 le muwuluta. Brikama.
You have served as a government minister in the past, haven't you?
Komantono ina naketa minister ti nyimbanku kanjam fonde.
Yes.
Ha umuto nyalti.
And in 2005, you served as Minister for Foreign Affairs, correct?
2005 sankono iketa minister me marli nimbantala bankol tema fonde.
Yes.
Ha, omutonyali.
And which ministry did you serve in as at October 2005?
Ye ministry jumale dogo ke ministry jumale koto 2005 October sankono.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Wala minister bundati membe Gambia nimbantala bankolu tema.
And you said you took up that position in October 2005. Until when did you serve as foreign minister?
Koyo makamo nyinta kabo October 2005. Yedo ko ke makamo nyin ko palaso nyin kono ka minister fo wati juma.
October 2006.
For October karo 2006 ntarta palaso tono.
And what were your responsibilities as foreign minister?
Mala men na yetele munu minister de men membel ni bantala bankol tema ila lonkunto dunol munati.
It was oversee Gambia's foreign and diplomatic service.
Wala Gambia ni bantala bankolu tema chokinyolo memben ni tema pour nga wono masata nga jube pour ka kolu do kolu tamandi je.
And implement the country's foreign policy.
Ani bankola sartolu men keta nim bantala bankolu tema sartol ti pour kawlu tamandi.
Mike.
And that should also include managing and maintaining the relations between the Gambia and other countries around the world. Correct?
Anu wala ngabetara nyinkono wala nyinte ko katopotoro ke aninka jubero ke Gambia ning bantala bankol temo ni temo la topotoro nyala fo.
Yes.
Ha.
And in 2005, there was an investigation regarding the fate and whereabouts of West African migrants who were alleged to have landed on Gambian soil.
2005 son kono kisikisiro keta ka long ani la alhalo be nyaadi le pour ka ko jube 2005 ni Ghanaian dingol mi ango na rajang na banko kanjang ila ko be la nyaabe nyaadi le.
Yes.
Ha.
What do you know about those investigations?
Ite mune longo kisikisiro nyinto.
All that I know about the investigation
Ngamembe longo kisikisiro la karola
was the feedback I received from the Minister of the Interior.
Wolem kibaro lu mengamel nu soto kabo minister bulu mem marta banko kan kunyal.
The Ministry of the Interior.
Wolem minister bundati mem marta banko kan kunyal. Mike.
Kanzo.
Could you say that again, please?
Omurun kambang yo fokotangeba.
I mean, through updates from the Ministry of the Interior.
Wolem kuolu men ya lonko kabo minister bundala mem marta banko kan kunyal wolu ka kibaro lu menu dinna nka wolle soto.
As part of your responsibilities as Minister for Foreign Affairs or Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, did you have interaction with your Ghanaian counterpart about this particular investigation?
Tumala mena emunu minister membe nimbantala bankol tema. Ila don kunto dunol kono abe kono fo wati soto laba ini do nyolu menketa Ghanaian ol fanan na karolati. Fo wati soto laba ini ku dundal ini wol tema ba nyin kiskisiro lak fanna laba.
Yes.
Ha.
Can you tell us about those interactions?
So say nyolo soto nyolo fo nyaba ini wol mune du nyotema o Ghanaian ol.
It was not the Ghanaians, but it was Ghanaian foreign minister
I'm not
then.
hearing.
Could you speak
I mean the
up
Ghanaian foreign minister at the time.
Wotembo Ghana la minister membe ni mbantala banko lutema.
We had few casual or informal discussions about the matter.
Nga kachalu dolu ke meni alonko wole keta koluti mentilinta wo kuofa ngokungola.
Where he was expressing their desire for the investigation to be speeded up so that they can have more facts of the incident.
Abe nyine ye fokan num puru wo kisikisiro nsala nyame yalon ko kibaro membebe dendi ngo la pro atesio kibaro lu soto no ko e koyama.
And in addition to the personal interaction, he also sent me a letter or 2 letters. I can't remember exactly, but I know he sent me a letter.
Hani amanke na la odia molu fanal ting hakilo bakang letter killing wala letter fula soton tale me yalon ko wol botete la karola kanankang hakilo mamuta bake dal jellom bari letter soton ta membote la karola kanante kang.
Inquiring about the state of investigations.
Pour ka nyinin karo ke o kisikisiro la kola.
Have you ever responded?
Inane jabiro dile ba?
Yes, I did.
Ha nga jabile.
Do you recall when?
Hakilo ba kan o keta wadi jumal la ba?
I can't remember exactly, but I know sometime by the end of the year 2005.
Hakilo ta mutawala de wato mem fangum. Bari nga jabiro ka ayenne ning hakilo ni manyina 2005 sango bandula ma fangola.
2006. I'm not sure of the date actually.
Bari wala 2006 Juna wato. Bari alungo hakilo ma mutano.
We have sent you this document dated 2nd December 2005 under the reference MEA/C/5305/ open 26-LKB brackets close. Have you seen that document?
Manin kaito kiyene me alon ko lungo be je wolen December karotili fula 2005 fo ya kaito nyin jele ba.
Yeah, I saw it before, but I can't remember the date on it. But I don't have it in front of me now.
Kaito nyin
But I believe it is.
Ngajele num wato men akita na bari bitung hakilo ma lungu mutano bari nyin tembe kaito nyin amantara mbalajang.
We have an unsigned copy of the document obtained from the NIA file on the death of the Ghanaians. And that is what we sent you. Did you read the document?
Yeah, I read it.
Ngawle soro NIA la file o nyinto ba ngaw imenki fo ya kaito nyi ya karande ba.
Sorry, I read it.
Ha nga karanne.
Did it remind you of the document you wrote?
For haya kilo bulanda man kaito la yemen safe bang.
Indeed, very well.
Ha kende kede.
And was this the letter you wrote?
Fo nyina mu letter ite yemen safe bang.
Yes.
Ha.
And this was the information you sent to the Ghanaian government, correct?
Ina mu kibaro ti yemen ki Ghana man safunda ma fo.
Yes.
Mr. Bajo.
Mr. Bajo.
The information before the commission is that the facts contained in your letter are a complete lie. It's a complete cook-up to cover up the unlawful killing of Ghanaians in the country, in the Gambia.
Kibaro nga menso rajang wala mnyidi ko kibaro membe safiro kibdo kaito nyindo kula me alon ko fan yaldem anu wala mnyidi maboro len rong pour ka katako len pour ka maboro ke nyin Ghana so Ghana dingol me alon ko ye fajang wanta yaka.
Yes, I fully agree, 100%. Based on what I learned recently.
Yes, but Mr. Bajo, you sent this letter to your counterpart in Ghana. You accept that it's completely false information that was provided.
I learned the reality of the facts based on the outcome of the TRRC.
Ndenata tonyalu long wato men wolembrin TRRC nyinkulu wanyari.
Okay. From the TRRC hearings, which obviously you have listened to, you agree completely that the story you gave was completely false.
Yes.
How do you feel knowing that the letter you sent to your counterpart, who is today the president of Ghana, is completely false? It's a cock and bull story.
Yo gota nyadi le letero men safe ka ki do nyoya nu men yalon ko saintem atelem president de Ghana banko kan o mu kuma kan me yalon ko amanke to nyati kuma kulle me yalon ko rom miral famire fan mira kumol ron wolle be fuduri ngol letero nyin kono.
I feel very bad, very embarrassed, and I felt the team.
Akatanya kuti dame yalon ko akuyata nye bake akatanya maloti andung ninkumu ye pumakangolu menu fotante ye nenele.
But Mr. Bajo, did they really mislead you?
Mr. Bajo,
or you just allowed yourself to be used to submit false information to a sister republic friendly to this country?
Yeah, mera dum fanando itel mansilo di pour ye muna fa ila drum pour ka kuma kan di I do nyol la me alon ko banku ni banku Ghana ni banku Gambia la kolbe nyoy nyame ka ki we kuma kan me alon ko amanke to nyati.
Not at all. I didn't agree with that. But the story is not my own story.
Well, let us test that, Mr. Bajo.
No.
You obviously read the letter. Since you wrote the letter, you obviously know its contents.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at some of the contents of the letter. Let's look at, the paragraphs are not numbered. So it will make it a bit difficult, but I'll endeavor to read them out so that you can hear. You said here that on page 2, okay, you said following the preliminary investigations, it came to light that the group had fallen victim of unscrupulous human traffickers who had taken money from them with the promise of arranging for their transfers to Europe. Consequently, in the light of the long-standing fraternal relations between the two sister republics, the group was cautioned and released on humanitarian grounds. That was false, correct?
Yes, lead counsel is false, but it's not my own making. These are not my words. These are advices I got from the sister government institution. I was not part of the investigation. I never interviewed anybody.
Could you take that again? I think we are missing something.
Yeah.
You said these are not my words. Is that what you said?
I mean, they might be my words, but information are not my own. I'm not the originator of the information.
Akoto nyala la kumakangol lembar kibaro le ditate fanana me ya lonko wala ya kendi ate kumota wo kibaro leto wala na yo kumodi.
Who gave you that information?
The Ministry of the Interior.
Bota Minister Bundala me ya lonko wala marta banko kan kunyalo.
And who in the ministry told you that?
Ministry member marde banko kono kunyala. Jumale wo fo e ol kono je.
Council, I wouldn't know. I didn't have any direct interaction with anybody. When we are the Ministry of the Interior update us on investigations,
lead council ntalo nola kato nyin ko kaito nyin briana tante mantenga ole jibe kato abotana damen wala keta minister bundati mem marta banko kan kunyalla ka kaito nyin tambindina permanent secretary bulo kono andum biro kaito futatante man fananga muna fango kaito lela wala keta kuma kan olti menu fintita je wonya.
Mr. I just want to suggest to you that this letter you wrote was not written in isolation or in ignorance of an investigative report that was put together by the government on November 9, 2005. An investigation panel produced a report which must have informed the letter that you sent to the Ghanaian authorities. Do you agree?
I believe so, because even though I've never set my eyes on that report, but I believe so, that must have informed the letter.
Kibaro informed the letter, informed the phone Yamamboya Kang. But between Katanyame, I beg your pardon, Muru Kankotake.
Gomma report on Yinamana report of Yanya.
Abanta Akanama report on Yinja Anyala. He has never seen the report with his own eyes.
Okay, let me read out 2 paragraphs from your letter, 1 paragraph from your letter, and 1 paragraph from the report produced by the government. I will read the report out, and then I'll send it to the chairman to verify that I am reading exactly the same thing. Paragraph 15 of the report of the investigation panel. That is Exhibit 206A, Mr. Chair.
Exhibit 206.
It was dated 9 November 2005. It says as follows. In paragraph 15, the investigations consider Mr. Martin Kierry's claim particularly his reference to the military man, quote unquote, dressed in bizarre manner and wearing a traditional cap, as an imaginary thought or illusion. As an imaginary thought or illusion.
Akatale ko mola item fango sondo mo e ko menje me yalon ko asekeno kusoto baloti bari sondo mo yole mira.
That every sane or objective person will see as fabrication.
Ko woto mo mondi sondo me tioti niaje ya jube balo nako nyimmu kuma soto balole tiye kuma kenzengol le kafunyo maje.
It is prudent to note that
the
Gambia government managed a well-disciplined security force
Gambia mansakunda ye bunda soto meya lonko aketa bunda sabatirin kuluringuti
where improper dress is not tolerated.
Damen hanidum fengo meya lonko among anin sarto mantanyo lebkauta.
To say that a military man was wearing a traditional cap with cow horns on them is unfounded.
Kafoko sojaro sotontale me ya lonko ay dum fengo dum bitung binolu ning kurungulu babala menketa dum feng kawakoti ko mo kuma soto balwonde.
That is what the report said.
Report way wala fo.
Now let's look at what you said to the Ghana government. Mr. Chair, the letter says, As regards Mr. Martin Kierie's claim,
ko Mr. Martin Kieri la kuma kan oto kasuji o kan
particularly his reference to the military man,
surtout ay même fo sojaro nyin na ku oto
dressed in a bizarre manner and wearing a traditional cap,
ayo dung nayin ada dum fen sifal men dung
any sane and objective person
momo yalan ko e hadamadi ngol mera hadamadi timmari ngol muyti
will see this fabrication as a product of the figment of his rich imagination.
ibayn jelala ko nyimmare nyin na kuma ko nya ba jelala ko umare nyimma fa wala kunna mirolti.
Mr. Bajo, do you see that you have copied
Mr. Bajo ye njele ko ye taro kele
or quoted
waranto e kuma kamuta
from the report
abodi report o nyindo
of the panel?
wala panel o nyi report o men dundi kuma kamol men beje.
Can you see that?
Ye o jele.
Yes, lead counsel.
Lead counsel.
As a former civil servant, I'm sure you know how government administration works.
Could you just allow for the interpretation also?
Ko ita fangu man sakunda do kulal di ngalong inyanta lon nale man sakunda la bulol nin kolu kata manyamin do kola karol.
I didn't doubt and I didn't refute the fact that particular thing is extracted verbatim from the report.
Manyin soso ndumang hakil fula soto je ka foko kuma kango atata kibaro le to abota kibaro le kono me ya lonko yewle kensun ka kafu nyom.
Thank you very much.
Just a minute, Counsel. If you can just tell me the date of Mr. Bajo's letter to Nana Amatude, Ghana Foreign Minister.
2nd December 2005.
Okay, and the date of this report that he's quoted,
9 November.
9 November.
Yes.
Fine, thank you.
So Mr. Bajo, you obviously must have seen this report, seeing that you have quoted it, contrary to what you suggest.
Ora senara ko nyi report nyi jele senara je ko kuma kama men bondi report nyi do ita fan later on men kije o ya bondi wala to.
Not at all, not at all. I've never set an eye on it. What would have happened was when a letter was sent to the, when such requests are made to a sister ministry,
Ninyi nyong kanindiro keta kabo minister bunda doto me ya lonko fanambeloring afayende nimmenu be nyokang
the minister that has been written to would have replied.
Minister
and since they are privy to that report, they would have.
Goto minister nyi membe bunda do kunna satara bota nyin kibaro kamara kalama me ya lonko ala jabiro kono.
They would have used the basis of the report to reply to our request for information or update on this case.
Ila jabiro ninkumu itel fanalu ba jubela le kakuma kan dundije me ya lonko kibar fololu menu itelier sotong ibe la jabiro wasikeno e kuma kan lu bondi wo kono me ya lonko ibe ole safela nan kaki nyimbunda fulanjango e nim menu be nyomoy kan Mike
Mr. Bajo, I appreciate all that.
Mr. Bajo, son to
but this is a letter sent under your hand. And there is nothing in the letter which suggests to you which suggests to anybody that you did not know what you were talking about.
Yes, maybe that's how it would happen. If I was writing on behalf of government,
Mr. Bajo, are you hearing the interpretation?
Mr. Bajo,
sorry for that. Sorry.
Allow for the interpretation. Yes, proceed. Tenteng.
And then when a sister government ministry was consulted,
adum biringa kanindiro ke nyom minister bunda do fanambulu
they are the experts at it, and they were the ones handling it.
Itelle mu molti men ye londi soto akoto akobe laring itelle bulo kono.
So I don't need to have the report in my hand.
Woto ndeman sula pro kibaro itarante bulo kono.
Mr. Bajo, did you in fact write the response,
Mr. Bajo,
the letter to the government of Ghana? Did you write it?
Yes,
It's for sure it's written by the ministry, but you know, as ministers, we hardly seldom write letters to ourselves. The permanent secretary, draft letters for you.
Minister
Based on
bari ninyin ku façon lu nata safer la molu bi jele menu ka safero keno minister to yala menu be ko permanent secretary membe te koto do ko la wolu sikeno molu tile menu be letro nyin safela ite minister to yala.
Was this written from the foreign ministry or was it written from the Ministry of Interior?
Onye letter on safeta kabo ministry member ne bantala bankol tema ban waranto letter on safeta ministry ko member marling banko kono kunyala.
I'm not very 100% sure because it's why.
Among ko ma fereng letter on abon su momenti.
But what I know for certain,
bari ngamel long hanfa koitamma
the information contained in the letter
kibaro membe letter o kono
from the Minister of the Interior for sure.
Abota minister bundalla mennu marata banko kan kunyala.
Don't you listen to this other issue? In page 4 of the letter, its third paragraph states as follows. No, just a moment. Let me bring out another issue here. In last paragraph of page 3, says, in the absence of physical witnesses or forensic evidence on the murder of the 8 nationals on the 23rd day of July 2005, the facts gathered during investigations could not establish the identity of the perpetrators. That too is false. The government knew who the perpetrators were.
Yes, indeed.
The letter went on to state, on the fate of the larger group, it is presumed that they might have escaped into Senegal. That too is another lie.
Indeed, based on the evidence that were given to the TRRC.
They are all false. Nies sede ya jube mendita TRRC la nyilmen be foto nyilmen be foto be mu kuma soto balol.
And on page 4, third paragraph,
lera naninjao sapa sabanjao
you stated as follows.
Yenyine foje.
Good.
Ko.
It is therefore inconceivable that at this point in time, the agents of the government of the Gambia should condone talk less of perpetuate heinous xenophobic crimes against our brothers and sisters from Ghana.
Manyani lata la purka masiba jawo ke mbadingulu la meni alonko wole moluti meni alonko bota Ghana banko kan.
Why, my dear colleague, would Gambians be so hostile to Gambians that they would start killing them now?
Munana mbading Gambian ko lubina wulila nyin tembeng ka nyinyon kuja ota kake mbading Ghana ko lula molula.
Well, it's not a rhetorical question, Mr. Bajo. You can now answer this question, can't you? seeing, having heard fully well what happened in the commission. So I ask you, why, my dear brother, would Gambians be so hostile to Ghanaians that they would start or they would kill them in the Gambia in 2005?
Gambia Banko Kanjan 2005 sankono.
I still don't have an answer for that.
Is it not because of Yaya Jammeh's paranoia?
Indeed. Indeed. Very well.
So now you have the answer to your rhetorical question. If you were to face the Ghanaian president now, and you have the opportunity to tell him the truth about what has happened, how would you correct this rhetorical question that you have raised in your letter? What would you say to him?
Only to deeply apologize to him and the Ghanaians.
And would you tell him
I have
that
nothing more than an apology.
Would you tell him that the Ghanaians were killed in the Gambia?
Indeed, of course, I would.
Would you tell him that our former president Yaya Jammeh caused their execution?
Indeed, very well, I will.
Would you tell him that the government carried out a massive cover-up of their heinous crime?
Yes, I will tell him that I'll now go further to express my own disappointment and bitterness about the whole thing for being misled and the side of the history.
Kuolu keta wole nyama adum benna ni kuya itandilala benna jikila teo itandilala mba itandilala kwenye mukuliti meya lonko kuya tante fonge kende kele amanken sawoti ndunkulo meya lonko kukeja wole mem manyankela mbebe bankela ene kabay nyoto.
Mr. Bajo, would you accept that you have not exercised due diligence in order to determine whether in fact the information you were given was correct?
Faybe sanna nyimmala ko e man do ku tilndu ngada nyin kamala ka sabatindi ko kibaro men dita la fo kibar na me yalon ko kibar to bar to nyaare alen wala.
With hindsight, yes, but at the time, no, I couldn't have gone otherwise. I didn't have any means of verifying.
Ne ko nyin jube ko man to nu wotembo nte okeno la bari akonyin ko la brin tonya na ta finti tonya la aketa wala nyama ku ke balolem mo brina tabo nyotolem ka ko lankenema utumolem kumona ta seria.
But Mr. Bajo, there was a file about this case at the foreign ministry, wasn't it?
Mr. Bajo, file benu njele nyin case la kuoto me alon ko be ministry membe nim maralin nim bantara bankol tema fon.
I think it should be there, but I don't handle files, and I didn't have any person to look at the file.
Ngamira better la jele kadu ndebu ka wo file wo kaitol katara wo file men kono mbika uluma adun amunta kule me alonko mantara nakarola fanang wala nambuke mai mantara.
It appears, Mr. Bajo, that you just appended your signature to this letter without even knowing what you were doing. You were just signing a letter that was written. It is a story and details cooked up elsewhere, dished onto your on a plate on your table and you just signed it and dispatched it.
Amunta nyinna ko Mr. Bajo ite data le don ibe letter le sign ko me alon ko imalo mun be fuduri nga letter o nyingo no letter o nyinna daro ya ta ko nyimbe be fuduri nga kono ya top ya tabi mane ya nati ya landi le tabulo kay ko ya sign imalo men ba ko.
Yes, I would say I will agree with you based on the circumstances at the time.
Well, you have previously denied this, but from what you have just said, it seems you would agree that you are just used to send this letter and you did not know much about it.
No, not at all. I don't agree with that. I don't know how I said that. What is starting was that.
You did not write the letter, did you?
Anyway, because I signed it, I wrote it. The draft was made for me by my permanent secretary.
But Mr. Ted, that the information contained in it is not within your knowledge, and you now accept that the information is false.
Sabaye fa ngon tanya ko kuma ka onyin letter onyin kuma ka membe furu nje amam fudela londo sa yin ya na ko fananko kuma kan soto balola.
No, because what came up from the proceedings of TRRC has really exhibited that these are not facts, they are not true.
Même findita TRRC la sede andirol kono jang wala nyinti ko kuma kan lu menu fotawo kay toto kuma soto balol lem ye molle sita doron yo kumolu fayño kan ya fewja ya dada ya safe bara manke to nyati a to nyana ta findi TRRC la sede arol le to jang.
But doesn't that make it obvious that you are just used to sign this letter when in fact you did not have any connection to the facts, you did not even know whether the facts were true?
Po nyina manke to nyaade ni letero ni ya kelero ya nati kanero pour ya sign ni tumalambe na ite malo ni letero ni fon ko be furuna kono andum letero ni atata na da munem.
I could not agree with you that I was used, or maybe if that happened, it was not to my knowledge, nobody would have used me.
Nte sonna ka foko ye muna fantilale bar na keta wala nyama fanan nte sonna ntafo no ko wotumo ko lulanya aniya tamandi nyame wala usabu.
Let me change the language. Let me change the words used. You were procured. You were procured to sign this letter to convey facts that were not within your knowledge. No. Procure does not mean such.
Amunta. Ye kalangi telale. Puruke filindi puriyanyin ni letero sign. Amunta filindi role.
Yes, I can agree on that. What we do on that word.
Yes.
Well, procuring in this instance would mean used.
Amunta ye muna fangi telale drong.
How do you feel, Mr. Bajo? That 15, 16 years, is it? Yes, 16 years hence, you would now see that the government that you served so badly blindsided you to send such a horrible letter to your Ghanaian counterpart.
Lulu warando woro komandos masakundame alonko ye doko ka tele koto ye muna feila ye kirindi kumala ye de kundi kumala me alonko kuma kan tonya yata ko nyin kono ka ko nyin mabo.
I'll just repeat. I feel very bad, very bitter.
Aketanye nikuyati aninjikila teo aning bitung komasayo dro aketa woldi.
Before I let you go, Mr. Bajo, was this issue ever discussed in Parliament, in cabinet while you were there?
Janembe bula Mr. Bajo yeta fonyin kuonyin anana kachata alfa kafol do memu cabinet tiba.
Never in my presence.
Anena mankente nyala.
Mr. Bajo, would you accept that that government you served was quite adept, quite used to covering up its crimes, seeing what happened in the Koresise case and what happened in this case?
Webe sonna nyinnala ko masa kundame alon ko ido ko ka kotono masa kundala me alon ko dalita le kirkela barakulta ka mabo abe ko no wala nyinti menketa Koresise la kula anin nyum ko nyingol be mel diamu kanten sai.
Yes, thanks to the TRRC.
Ha tonyala ala nin TRRC wala yo sabu wele ko banke.
I have no further questions for the witness. Let me ask you, do you regret your actions? Do you regret that you have signed this letter? You have sent this letter?
State Council, I will repeat that a million times. I have no amount of words to express my regret about that.
State Council mbe saying kanale membital han fo million nyong sinya million kanani kuyani nimiso yitandi me yalon ko wala ketanyin kolu lanyati.
And Mr. Bajo, you are telling this commission that you had no knowledge at all, no scintilla of knowledge that the information contained in the letter you sent was false?
Electoral fola janne ko Mr. Bajo yen letter on menta ya sign men kita e man hani londi soto akwo nyinto biringa bekela.
I can assure you that, like lead council,
Mbeu bambandi le mo nyama lead council.
to be knowing.
Could you say that again?
I said I fully agree with you.
Nsonta ko nsonte la kumola la koya fonu nyameng nsonta la.
And I will be the last person
Aduntele bekela mo labangoti.
to be knowingly used to cover up such atrocities.
Kanyin kuja woluta ke mabo wala ke inung.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I have no further questions for you, and thank you for taking time off to talk to us and having waited this long. Thank you for your cooperation.
Numbara bake sedo yen sabaro menta ka dia munye andu betendo le beja la bake ila dunyoka.
Thank you, Council.
Yeah, most welcome,
Thank you,
Council.
Mr. Bajo, for your testimony.
Chairman ko numbara bake Mr. Bajo ila sede andiro kang.
Just one quick question.
Nyininkar tarim bembulun lafte nyininkala menna.
Did you ever discuss the killing of the West African migrants with President Jammeh?
Fodum nyin nene sotontale nyin mo findula nyin tiliji banku dinglu menu ye fa jang fo anene sotontale nim President Jammeh ya ko kacale bang.
Yes, it has happened.
Ha aketale.
What was the substance of that discussion?
Kacha nyin munim munetarta kono.
That was to expedite the investigation. As my Ghanaian counterpart was all the time inquiring for me. Because we've met several times in several meetings across the globe.
Katu nga benjamal leke fanna jamaluto dinkira jamaluto nyinko nka kacha damenuto.
Did he ever tell you what you should say to your Ghanaian counterpart, the foreign minister?
Fodung ate President Jammeh ne nyimfoyne ite nyanta memfola ido kumulunta nyoye me ya lonko wotumo wolem Ghana ko la ministati membe ni bantala bankol tema pour nina e nyoje.
Yes, Chairman, only to assure him that investigations are ongoing and the results will be provided to him.
Wala nyinti ko pour ka bambandiko kisikisirolu be kekanne adum femfem fintita o kisikisirolu kono fere wo fere tijemba kibarolu kafla nyomale ka banke wala ka ditolula.
Was the president aware of the letter or the contents of the letter that he eventually sent your Ghanaian counterpart?
Fodum president fanan nata bo nyin kalamale kalimolu kuma kangolu menu be o letoro kono yemen ki nyin do ku mulunta nyoye membe Ghana wotumo fo president yo kuma kangolu aye kalamutale ba.
I'm not very sure, Mr. Chairman, but I assume through the office of the Secretary General he would have.
Among ko
Not from me
mabakele
directly.
chairman bari ngambenyi mutala ko secretary general wairi woye kolu kalangolong asikeno woye abondi akalama.
In order to coordinate the Gambian response to the Ghanaians, did you discuss with the Secretary General, if not with the President, the draft of the letter that you intended to send to the Foreign Minister of Ghana?
Fo nyinko kamala puru wairi kibaro bitala Ghana le fodum ini Secretary General al nene ya kumo kachale nyote maba wala nim president ya kumo kachale puru fahamuro si sotoje me ya lonko wala mu kalimol di wala kuma kan luti men be wala tro kono membe kila kata Ghana ko la minim bantala banko lutema.
No, I don't think. I don't think.
Hani mamira woketa.
So the Secretary General did not see the draft that you eventually sent us, as said.
Bitunga amunta ko Secretary General ma wakaiti dadari ngo nyinje na talaba men kila mane amunta Secretary General nyama mboyo wakaiti oka.
I'm not sure, honestly, Chairman. I don't want to lie.
Tonya amang koima Mr. Chairman malla finga kuma soto balofu.
And the President did not see the draft also.
Adum President fana man wakaiti dadari ngo je fana.
No, not from me.
Hani amam bontela karola de.
Don't you find that odd? A major foreign policy issue like this, a foreign issue involving the death of over 40 foreign nationals, that remained the level of the foreign ministry in the Gambia, and that the President's office, the Secretary General, they did not see the response that you were sending, or were you only instructed to send the kind of response that you ended up sending to the Foreign Minister of Ghana?
Fanyi manke fe de unkoti wala kawko kuome ya lonko aketa nyinyon kukumati Gambia banko ning anyom bantala banko tema dame ya lonko membitala hanfo mo tanani nyong wulu niw kasarata ko men kono wo ku façon yeke bitun silang jabiro men nyanta tala wo bantala banko wo wandi banku do kan menula molu fata wonya kayto men de data pour membe kila woliya satara banko la Secretary General amalon mun kulle be letoro kono wala president fam mamba kalama fo wodum wo manke jakali koti feban.
Sorry. It could be strange, indeed. I think it could be strange if they had not seen the letter. And they agree with me strange.
Abakala tere makolti le nintonya wolu mofulo dodo man letro nyinje.
And the other thing, I was not instructed to reply.
Andu kufla nya umende. Iteluma af kango dintela puruka nyinjabiroke.
So it was your own initiative alone.
Amunda ketete fangola feroleti idam manamiro.
Yes, because the letter was addressed to me, and I felt I was at liberty to get the facts from the relevant government ministry and reply to my colleague letter.
Ha to nyala katu ye letero men kinan ya kinan telekan. Adunga nata kumaya nte fanam feko. Woto nyin ko kono kolu men ba kono to nya ntela kibaro men nyanta kila woto mbadunga sorry mbadunga nyindiro ke kuma kanulula me ya lonko minister bunda me marta kola itele sikibaro dintela kibaro me ya lonko nsa kafu nyoma mbe men kila moliye pour que la letero jabi men ye letero kinan tekanga nga kibaro wala nga kumota wulu bulu wo minister bunda bulu nga nyin kumolu jabi wala.
But you just said that the President told you, perhaps more than once, to expedite the investigation with a view to responding to the Ghanaian inquiry.
But then fanam fajanko sinya jama president ka foyenko pour ye kisikisiro nyin tariandi nyin kamala isi jabiro ken sunno nyamen ibe men kila nyim moli men yaron ko lebe Ghana.
No, Chairman, I maybe you misunderstand me.
Hani,
I said when my Ghanaian colleagues, when the Ghanaian colleague remind follow up the matter with me,
birin nkafu nyomembe Ghana mndew kumlunta nyobira nyin kono masata aninte tema.
I raised it with the president then.
Wotembo ngakumo wulindi nim president otema.
What his reply was that investigation will be expedited so that we can reply to Ghana. I was not doing the investigation.
Atela jabiro keta muniti wala mnyinti nga katanga kisikisiro tariandi puru nse mbe Ghana jabila kumakangulu mennula bara manka konta kumu fangola kisikisiro lem
ama fondo nga kisira ko kisira le kisikisiro kerala kanta manta kisiro ko ta apprenti ko tariandi
munda kisikisiro la ko le kisikisiro tariandi bari te kumote kisikisiro kono.
Anyway, Commissioners, if Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Imam Jallo, lafta nyininka rokela.
Witness, I find your narration very interesting. You and all the other people who worked for Yaya Jammeh during his period, you simply obeyed everything he asked you to do. You never thought for yourselves, and even at international level, I cannot understand how you can use a letter that you are not convinced about, because certainly you are not convinced about the content and the truthfulness of that letter. Why did you participate in this venture? Please explain.
Thank you very much, Imam. I agree with you. Most of us who serve in Yaya Jammeh's government at one point or the other were in a way misled. Some would have done it deliberately. But as far as this matter is concerned, I did not, the letter I wrote did not come from Yaya Jammeh, neither the words come from him. The facts or what are now found to be lies were administratively and professionally obtained from a competent government line ministry.
Njikitala nu otumol kolu mukumato nyaleti kumasoto ringolem meni ya lonko nge soto minister bunda dole fanambulu me ya lonko nyinko abelari ngolle bulo kono nung.
And I think the report of the panel is a testimony to that.
Adungamira panelo ye kibaro mendi wuliyoko sede andile.
Mr. Chair, may I take up the witness up on that? Mr. Bajo, are you serious about what you've just said?
Mr. Bajo, ilata yin na lamang yemen fo jam sign damba.
That
like
this
what?
was
Sorry.
professional discharge of responsibilities? Is that what you're saying?
No. No, I wouldn't say that. I said it was obtained from the line ministry through administrative and processing way. That's the way we sought information from the ministry was done the proper way. Though even though the fact the information were found in the report, but what we did was to consult them and the supply to them.
Nkame mfolem nyindiko kuma kangulu menu fotaten nataje menu yalonko wolem kuma soto baloliti ndel ngado ko la nyale sata andu ngaw kenya min wolem nyintiko ado ko kisikisiro ning akobe lari menu bulu wala keta minister bundati mem marta banko kan kunyalla ndel ngang sembe wollela nga kibaro nyini wolle bulo kono wol yekibaro ning kalimolu menu dintolla ndel fanalu jikita wollela nga wolle taka kafunyoma ka safe wolle tata nyin kuma kangulu kono menu kita.
Mr. Bajo, you have agreed that the information you conveyed was false, correct?
Mr. Bajo, ison da nyin nalago kibaro me yalon ko iko yewole futande kibar le me yalon ko tonyata kono. Phone.
Yes, very good. That's established.
You have agreed that it was a cover-up to so as not to disclose the heinous conduct of the Gambia government. Correct?
Yes, by the source of the information.
From your knowledge of the administration that you served, would such blatant cover-up have taken place without the consent and directions of Yaya Jammeh?
Itela londo to me alon ko yedo ko yin do ko ke wala kono fo ni ko nyita mabo wala kono itela mira lodo nyin ko si tamano la ban ning ayatara Yaya Jammeh ala londo na ala kalamuta do teje ba.
Impossible, no way. Nobody will try that.
So this nasty cook-up was a cook-up by Yaya Jammeh, wasn't it?
Indeed, I agree with you very well.
Thank you very much.
And the role of the line ministry, that's a procedural route, Mr. Minister, that the line ministry was responsible for XYZ. The line ministry supervised the investigation. Line ministry perhaps sent you the report of November 9th, 2005. And on the basis of that, you just signed a letter without questioning anything from the line ministry. How could that be?
Saying, Mr. Bajo, kibaro me yalon ko wala ketateng wala kitateng. Minister Bunda memmaratala abe memmaten ko mo line ministry tingala wala minister Bundati memmarta banko kan kunyal wole ko lube tabi ya kafunyo may ya kibaro buntung inata o kibaro le dada me ya lonko anata sign November karoti likononto me ya lonko aketa kwoti men tabita silang fo wo mukuleti me ya lonko ite abe nyadile.
Thank you, Chairman.
Inumbara, Chairman.
At the time, I had no means to verify the veracity or otherwise.
Purka nyinkumo bonyoto wala ka tonya yandi wala ka jaba kese woto wo fero tembulu nu wotumo.
And also at that time,
ka afulanja wo fanan wo tembo,
I didn't have the cause also to doubt.
Wotumo mandalila je mensa kendi insisobi wala nga hakil fulo soto akwoto.
Because the allegations were the actions that were done were really very serious. And I didn't expect that.
Katu kolu menu keta nungo tembo eketa ku bambandi mballeti meni alonko itamata nungo tumo.
I didn't expect the government to be involved in such.
Majiki nunko mansakunda be anyinyon ku fasongo kela.
And because I cannot imagine why that would have happened.
Katu mamira no munan na nyinyon ku fasongo seke.
Much more for a cover.
Sako kana akwota ka mabo.
Thank you.
Inumbarasa.
Jonaka, you wanted the floor?
Isonaka.
Thank you. I will start with this question, picking up from where Chairman left. Because you've testified here before, and that was regarding the death of Koro. You were a minister at that time. And it seems there were similar cover-ups, but you just told this commission that you didn't expect such cover-ups to happen. So I find that a bit contradictory.
I don't understand the question.
I will just move on with my next question. And the question is, you've extended an apology to the current president of Ghana. would you be willing to extend similar apology to the victims and their families?
So hanin ka be pare rinde ban wo mol mi alan ko dunda ko le anyin kono ani la dimba yalo fo hanin ka be pare rinde pour ka yam fo furandi wol fana ma pour yam fe bang baro la menkel.
Indeed, Commissioner Ka, with much haste.
To nyala Commissioner Ka mbela fa ay ka kutari ngoti.
And by extension to the Gambian people.
Anim fanan ka tentendi ka o yam fa dano futandi Gambian koluma menketa bolo sayoti.
My final question is, if you are in a similar situation today, what would you do differently? I ask this question in line with the apology that you have extended to the government of Ghana. The victims, the Gambian people, and your expression of regret.
I believe it will happen again, but should I be in the same position today?
Manjiki kanyongo bekela alaman tankalama bar nimisali kama anyong ku fasongo wulita bi.
I will not take it for granted that those doing their work are doing it with sincerity and honesty.
Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you. Mr. Bajo, if you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to make them now.
Mr. Bajo, ni kumasoto ebela kacha kumfala menna isitente.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Inumbara Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Commissioner Lu Al Nimbara.
Thank you, Lead Counsel.
Inumbara Lead Counsel.
As difficult as it might be,
Aba akoleata ko akata ase keno nyaming.
But there's no a better moment to discuss this issue.
Bari wati man tambinyin watu la purka nyin kumofo.
When the investigators called me about a week ago,
I
felt obliged to appear and discuss this matter. This and all other previous matters that the TRRC has dealt with or is still handling.
Ko TRRC kumolu menu ma anin kolu menu be ibuloko no hanibi
Are a big lesson for all of us as Gambians.
Ni mukaram balete aketa Gambian ko li karam bunguleti Gambia mu meobe.
Especially public servants.
Sako mansakunda do kulalu.
I wish
mbela fila nyinna
we could have taken the clock backwards.
Ninsi montoro murundi nunkoma.
I think it would have been very different for all of us.
Nemgato si murunum koma ngalonko abekela ku abe fatam fansila la be fatalale ko bekela nyami.
This will lead me to commending the TRRC.
Nyimbe akela siloti fana ngatente ngati TRRC jai.
Unearthing
puru ka kuolu dolu fintindi
some of the issues that have some of the incidents that have occurred in our country,
kuolu dolu men yalon ko wolle ketal na banko kan,
which some of us, even we are in high position in government,
kuolu men yalon ko hani mtelu dolu men yalon ko be place balu to man sakunda kono,
would have denied of their veracity.
Mba soso la nuninga kuonyin kalanglong kuolo hakke isangarata nyamin.
Therefore,
wakamala
myself, Lamin Kaba Bajo,
Lamin Kaba Bajo,
I will not hesitate to extend my deepest apologies
puru kanabolo sayo fo mole ke bolo sai
to all the victims,
ka futandi molu mamantoro lata mennu bekang,
their families,
ila badingulu dimbayalu,
both within the country and without the country.
kabo banko kanjang kata hanfo banko e bantala.
Because
Katu,
one way or the other,
asketa nyawnyandi nyama,
will remain in the history books for serving the past government for a number of years.
abetar la tariku buko lu kono le ko ngado ko ke o mansa kunda en me yalon ko wala bota jang.
As I said,
Ko nga fanu nyame.
this is a lesson for all of us.
Ñi mu karangoleti puruntel beye.
To be very careful the way we execute our functions.
Purun sen hakilotu nga kuolu tambin nga hakilo tambin dimbe kokundin kela nga ke hakil tuoti.
So that history will not repeat itself.
Puru tariko menketa ñi ñongoti wakana sayin kan koteke.
And I want to thank you once again.
Koteke woto mbali numbara la.
And then looking forward
Andu mbeji kila ko.
The entrenchment of your slogan.
Allah sando men abe foka ngaliye memuta.
In the hearts and minds of every Gambian.
Puru sando silo ay silo dung Gambia dinglu be juso kono wala isondo molu kono.
Till posterity.
Fajal ning faw.
Because we are all affected one way or the other.
Katu akoye mbele ma nyado nyama wala karado la.
Thank you very much.
Allah baraka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister Lamin Kaba Bajo, for
Inin
your testimony.
barabake Minister Lamin Kaba Bajo ila sede yaro kan.
This brings us to the
Mr. Chair, just a technical issue before you adjourn. The letter of 2nd December 2005, I want to put it in as Exhibit 207.
207.
No, should be 208. Should be 208.
I was just going to remind you that
it should be 208. Yes.
208.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Fine. As I was saying, this brings us to the end of the theme on the West African migrants. If there are any residuals that come up, we will take them at that time.
Chairman ko abe mobe numbara la barbitung nyine be mfutandila ko bandulato menketa nyimmo findu tiliji banku dingulu la koti men yalon ko ye fanyim banko kan ala kobe dan najanne barbitung nim misali kamma kulunata soto men yalon ko mu kuto malleti menu nata finti akonyin kono ifindita wato membe talale barbitung ko lanya la karola mbe dan najanne folo.
We thank all witnesses who have come before the Commission as we examine this theme.
Mbe sedo lu be numbarala mbe jayila menu be nata sede yaroke nyin ko kono wato membe kachakan nyin ko kumala.
We will raise the highlights of this particular theme.
Nyin ko men kachata teng mbala kolu wulindila leke banke
at the beginning of our next session,
na kacha na si kotengo damuta dulato,
which would be the 21st session of this commission,
membe kala nyin commission la si muang anin kilinjangote,
and that would open on Monday 22nd March.
wala be datila tenelungo March karoti limuang anin fulo.
In the meantime, the Commission would work in its committees.
As
well as the working group on the preparation of the final report.
And kafo doku kafo menu nyanta kibaro nyimume be kafula nyoma kolu menu be tamata TRRC jang kabiringa lota wo doku bunda fanang ul fanal be kontinela ila doku lale.
So next week would be devoted to those internal activities.
Biton nyelo kunala doko be tilinna ko melna wolem ko kono doku bunda nyim fankono kolu menu nyanta tamala.
And we will resume, as I said, on Monday 22nd March.
woto ko nga fonu nyami match karoti limu anim fulo mbe murula kanadu ko dati katenteng.
Thank you all very much and thank you for attention.
Mbal benu mbara la ala hakiltu ningal la cross lo kanga.
Meeting is adjourned.
Be ngopantale.